I love The Boys. Nearly everything about it. The infinitely escalating ridiculousness, the commentary on celebrity, the real, thoughtful characters paired with characters who are deeply fucked up exclusively to show how deeply fucked up they are. I'm a certified boy lover.
I love boys, viewer! I love boys!
I would really not be screaming that at the top of your lungs.
Honestly, a part of me thought it was over after season 3, as weird as that sounds. I thought it worked on a meta level, with the season ending basically exactly where it started, tying into both the commentary on the constant conflict between the acceptable level of evil to do what is right, as well as the recurrent tumor that is American conservatism. I wasn't that shocked when I heard season 4 was coming. I imagined the show ending right here wouldn't slide by the execs who make bands off of it, and frankly, I need this motherfucker hung from jumper cables. I was surprised when I heard there was a season 5 planned, though. And I was simply worried when I heard there were spin-offs planned. I hate the name Gen V. The only people who would believe even for a second that Gen V is an okay name are millennials who don't know their place. This isn't a review of either show. This will mostly be about my concern for The Boys going forward, so that if it does go to shit, I can at least have my consolation prize of pointing to my video and saying I was right. Yes, it is a defense mechanism. To Your Eternity Season 2 left me a sad, broken man. I'm going to start off with my concerns unrelated to Gen V before I start crying about Riverdale with more cocks. Presumably, more cocks. I haven't seen Riverdale. For all I know, it's thug shakers over there. This is the most common criticism I see leveled at The Boys, that it refuses to actually go anywhere, that it's stuck on a permanent trajectory of 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Like I said earlier about Season 3 ending exactly where it started, I think this is an intentional narrative choice and isn't exclusively a way to extend the Money Shell Bomb Maker series. Season 3 had a big focus on Kimiko, A-Train, and even Noir somehow. I understand where people are coming from, every season ending on "We failed this time, mate, but next season on Amazon Prime Video, we're gonna kill that guy." Can get a bit repetitive and grating, but not only do I think it's rather indicative of the current hellscape, I don't find the conflict of killing Homelander to be the most interesting part of the series. It's the MacGuffin that drives it. If you aren't critical of the show dragging its feet, why are you bringing it up? Because I don't agree with that sentiment yet. We're reaching a point where we're running out of characters to display and develop. Like, most of the main cast have gotten their time in the sun already. I'm worried that after another season, we're going to start retreading the same ground. We're already sort of doing that with Billy, but I like Billy, so that makes it good, actually. Another more minor worry I have is the infinitely escalating ridiculousness reaching a boiling point. Season 3 is about embracing the ghost of racist past to destroy the racist future, and ends with a surprise showing by Kyle Rittenlander. How much more ridiculous can we get than Kyle Rittenlander? Next entry on this list of demands, grievances, is the teaser trailer. Specifically this. I'm not talking about the end of Season 3, I'm talking about, the subtitle of Star Wars Episode 2. I don't think they're doing the subtitle of Star Wars Episode 2. It doesn't make sense that either Vought or Homelander would want the subtitle of Star Wars Episode 2. But if they are doing the subtitle of Star Wars Episode 2, this video will not console me. Moving on to Gen V, I was already predisposed to not like the show because I don't think it should exist by very nature. The Boys gets a lot of mileage by its satire of Marvel schlop, and the existence of an in-universe spin-off with no bearing on the main series kind of goes against that, even if those spin-offs are generally better than the main line of Marvel. My knowledge of Marvel doesn't go past here because I'm an adult, so if I'm wrong, feel free to soy in the comments. I think most of the main cast lacks personality with the exception of Emma and Sam. Emma is kind of just the designated character who makes the crude jokes, but Sam's pretty rad. His personality plays well with his backstory. I like it a lot. The rest of the cast in terms of personality is borderline interchangeable. Marie is boring and everyone else, at least as first, is just average college goer. It's also weird how these three get shown off as being shitheads and then just turn around to not being shitheads as soon as Soldier Boy dies. Makes sense for Kate, but not for Jordan and Andre. The show focuses a lot on the teenage melodrama bullshit for the first good while. I don't see this as a problem, I just don't really like it that much. What I do see as a problem, though, is that the show kind of abandons Jordan's storyline with their parents and stuff. I think the thing that goes on later with Marie is way better, even if it doesn't have a satisfying ending. But this doesn't feel like a full resolution, probably just because it's abruptly introduced and ends just as quickly. Speaking of abrupt, the mystery of what's going on under the school sucks. To take it back to elementary school for a minute, let me break out the 5 W's which would stand well for writing wicked whodunits. That was actually 6, gold star for me. When doing mysteries or withholding information from the audience, you always disclose the what, maybe the when and where if they're relevant, to create the mystery and because chasing ghosts isn't fun. This leaves you with the who and the why, with which you can either disclose neither, let the characters play out the mystery, or you can disclose both, Columbo style. Make it more of a cat and mouse game rather than finding out who did it. The Boys takes the first route in the mystery of the congressional head popper, but Gen V gives the audience the who, but holds the why to way later, which sucks. In a better series, this would be the biggest failing, but in Gen V, it only contributes to me rolling my eyes whenever anyone mentions the scary woods, because it means nothing other than it's the place where the dean is torturing a bunch of soups for seemingly no reason. Oh, and one more thing. Despite all the shit I'm talking, it really does start to get good at the end. Hell, it gets great at the end. The last 1.5 episodes are genuinely fantastic. It turns everything on its head and gets all high concept and makes me conflicted for all these shitty fucking characters. Who was right here? I don't know. But unlike The Boys, which constantly changes its mind in this conflict, Gen V stews in the uncertainty of it, and then it comes to the perfect ending that fits the characters of Gen V to the themes of The Boys in its own unique way. I think it's even a commentary on the fact that this show shouldn't exist, like I said earlier. Literally me! It's remarkable what goes on in these last 2 episodes, and the way that it brings itself... Why is it still going? Oh. Guess I'll rewrite that segment. While I still love the ending of Gen V, these last 65 seconds, I timed it, really cheapened the impact. It shows not only an unwillingness to be boldly unsatisfying, but also that the corporate side of the series is growing in power over it, that being Amazon Prime Video. Bezos has an interest in keeping The Boys running as long as he can manage it, and while I thought that he would restrain himself from his muddy, grubbing ways, these last 65 seconds kind of prove to me that maybe he won't. What I've said before about Gen V are just critiques I have with the writing of the series that I just don't want to see bleed into The Boys. The Boys. Good one. But this ending is downright worrisome. Like I said earlier, The Boys' habits of often refusing to go somewhere, the characters retreading the same ground, and cresting the hill of ridiculousness are all problems born of length, and the simple fact that The Boys isn't an episodic drama or comedy series. 70 episodes was fine for The Lieutenant, but I don't feel like the same is true for The Boys. I worry that it's going to become The Walking Dead, or Marvel, or whatever show you liked that went on too long. We all have one. Maybe this video is an overreaction. Maybe I'm putting my eggs in a basket that really shouldn't be holding eggs in any capacity, but I can't resist the urge to be right in a public forum.
Well, this is a truly fascinating, if not slightly condescending lecture, but I don't think I see the points.